All right, hello there. It is Monday afternoon, December the 15th, 2025. I am coming on today to share reactions to the Criterion Collection announcement of their March 2026 titles. So, as of today, we now know what the first quarter for the Criterion Collection announcements are going to look like. So, I'm going to come on here and share reactions with you for. I'm going to make this a fairly brief live stream. Just going to share these reactions. These announcements are pretty hot off the press. They just came across the Criterion website, so I have really not had a chance to fully digest them, but definitely look forward to hearing what you think about these titles. I do want to cover a couple of topics right off the top. There's of course been some pretty big news that has happened recently that I think is probably heavy on a lot of people's hearts. So we'll talk about that. We'll also talk a little bit about what is going on in this crazy industry that we are, very interested in. So a lot of good things that are a lot of well, not good things, a lot of very interesting things in the industry that are going on that people are really talking about that could have an effect upon the entertainment industry as we go forward. So we'll talk a little bit about that and then we'll get into these titles. So on the other side of this, we will get into it. There's a lot to talk about. Criterion has announced their March lineup, so let's get into it. All right, it is Monday, December the 15th. We are 10 days before Christmas. It's unbelievable how fast this year has gone by. I feel like every month it's like, wow, I feel like we just brought in 2025 and now we're just over 2 weeks from bringing in 2026. So time waits for nobody, as I continue to say. But yeah, there's definitely a number of things that I want to kind of go over here. I've got, that's going to come up on the screen, but I don't want to put that on the screen as yet. What I do want to put on the screen is, and then I'll go to some comments. Of course, most of you have heard. If you have not heard by now, you will certainly hear about the tragic news that came out of Southern California yesterday with the loss of director Rob Reiner and his wife. That reporting started to come across yesterday evening, and just very, very tragic news. I just saw recently, just a few minutes ago, on the Criterion's Twitter page, they put out this little this message here about the loss of their longtime friend and collaborator, Rob Reiner. Of course, recently in the collection, they released This is Spinal Tap, which got a release this year from Criterion. And of course, years ago, they released The Princess Bride. And of course, Rob Reiner first got exposed to his work through his time as the son-in-law on the Archie Bunker TV series, going up against Carol O'Connor, classic all-time role, and then getting into directing and filmmaking. But yeah, definitely very sad news coming out of Southern California, not only of the passing, but the circumstances, just overall very tragic. So I know that is very heavy on a lot of people's hearts. And so just wanted to cover that off the top. I do want to get some comments here to see what people are thinking, and then we'll talk a little bit about the industry and what are your thoughts on Rob Reiner? Any favorite films from him? Just anything you want to share at all, and as well as what you think about these announcements for the month of March. So we have here. Hi, James. I'm excited. Hope we get some new stuff and not just upgrades. Yeah, honestly, I definitely want to hear what y'all think about these announcements. I have really had very little chance, almost no chance to fully absorb them. This is sort of fresh off the presses, so to speak. So I'm looking forward to sharing fresh reactions with you all. Will Frankenstein be announced soon, do you think? I don't know. That is from Guillermo del Toro, right? So probably at some point. I think they put out many of his films, not all of them, but there's a probably a good possibility that we might see that at some point. Let's see. I hope we get some good Asian titles, but I've been getting into some French stuff recently. Yeah. And from what I've seen, we're definitely getting a touch of Asian and French cinema in these March announcements. So that is excellent. Excellent. Literally jumped out of my chair when I saw Killers of the Flower Moon. Yes, yes. And I have not seen that film. That's the Scorsese title I've not seen. Of course, it's got Leonardo DiCaprio in it. I believe De Niro, I want to say, is in that as well. So I know it's probably pretty good. It's in the hands of a good director. You have those good actors. It can't be bad. So it's got to be pretty good. I just don't know where it ranks in the Scorsese canon, but I'm sure it's pretty good. Let's see. Maybe we'll get No Other Choice. I'm not familiar with that title. Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Nice ways. Haven't seen that yet. Let's see. People saying hello to one another. Two French. Yeah. Yep. Please watch if one of Scorsese's best. Okay, that's good to know. Awesome. And I'm also glad that I have not picked up that title on physical media yet. So this will be a good time to pick it up and get familiar with it. Killers of the Flower Moon, and I will most certainly plan to do a review on this channel of Killers of the Flower Moon when that is released. Hello, Adrian, across the pond. Hope you're doing well, sir. People are saying hello to you as well. Hello there to Steve Moody. Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon. People saying hello to one another. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Yes, indeed. Rest in peace, Mr. Rob Reiner. Absolutely devastating news. It's devastating just, well, period. Anytime someone's lost, but the circumstances really just sort of add to it, and it's very, very sad. Yeah, that's sad news. Condolences to his family. Yes, condolences and prayers to the family. Another meh month for me, not thrilled about any of these. Yeah, that's totally fair. Totally fair. Totally fair. Reiner's son, yeah, definitely heard about that. Definitely heard about that. I want every single title announced. Good. See, you see, that's the range of reactions. So I want every single title to another meh month. To I want every single title to another meh month. So ranges of opinions, all of which are totally valid reactions, all the way around. Very sad about Mr. Reiner's son had addiction issues and sadly can go all the way. Yeah. Yeah. Very, I think as we learn more about the situation, I think that, it'll be hopefully people can take something from it to move forward. So I believe I heard Del Toro's Frankenstein is rumored for December 26th, and honestly, that would probably be a good time for that to come out, similar to like Nightmare Alley, that type of a film coming out in the fall of this year, which I recently watched, by the way, Nightmare Alley. I really enjoyed it. I saw the color version. I just started watching the black and white version, and I do plan to do a review on this channel of Nightmare Alley, which will go out before Christmas, I think, is when I'm planning to put it out. So, or before the end of the year. So, I definitely am pretty high on that title from the Criterion Collection. But yeah, I definitely want to finish that black and white version of it. But yeah, Frankenstein, it feels like that similar timing would probably make sense for it to come out later in the year. But we shall see. We shall see. Hoping they will one day upgrade the old out of the print DVD of Z by Costa Gavras. Gavras. That's one I really want on Blu-ray. Yeah, they could. I've not seen that one, but I've seen it before, either online or on the shelf. But I have not I have not watched that title yet. December the 26th, 2026. Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah. Yeah. We understand. We understand. December. Spinal Tap and Princess Bride are great, but I'll always remember Mr. Reiner's role as Meathead from All in the Family. We'll miss him very much. Yeah. That is a classic all-time role. And I think I saw on social media that now the only surviving member of that main cast, is Sally Struthers. But yeah, really, really, really good stuff. About All in the Family is really good stuff. What's everyone's holiday plans? We will probably be here. There may be a little trip after Christmas, but we shall see. James Klaus Turus, awesome, is an awesome film. Okay, that is good to know. All right, so some great comments coming in. Great to see everybody out there, and glad that you're joining. And I do want to I do want to dive into a little bit of information here. Another topic that is also on people's minds that people are really concerned about. You've seen some videos, you've seen the news popping around this, and that is the Warner Brothers Discovery sale, streaming antitrust and industry shakeup. So we all have heard about Warner Brothers being up for sale, and they have basically reached an agreement with Netflix to sell to Netflix, or to sell a good portion of the company to Netflix. But then Paramount came in with a hostile takeover bid. They came in with a higher offer. And so you've got these competing bids for the Warner Brothers business. And we've heard a lot of people coming on very concerned about what impact could this have on theatrical distribution, on films coming to theaters, and what impact could this have on the theatrical side of things. But then also for us physical media collectors, what impact could this have on physical media? And as people look at the Netflix side of things, there's definitely concerns that with Netflix being a obviously a streaming service, that they would not, or shall we say that they would not prioritize the theatrical viewings of their films, or physical media, that they would just want to push everything to streaming. So that is a concern that people have. And then, of course, on the Paramount side, there's concern that, with the further consolidation of studios, could you get into that's going to lead to situations where you have less competition, you have less creativity, less projects. Um, so that's going to have an impact on the quality of movies that come out to the theaters. And that could also have an effect on physical media as well. So this is the type of thing that has a lot of eyeballs, and people are putting out a lot of opinions, many of which are, kind of doom and gloom. And my feeling on it right now is sort of a wait and see approach. I kind of have to wait and see because there's not really much of anything I can do about it. But here's one thing I do know. I do know that regardless of where this shakes out in terms of which side of this ends up winning this situation, or winning the opportunity to buy Warner Brothers, it's going to go through a lot of regulatory approval. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. And so I would definitely, tell people just sort of wait and see, don't panic. We're not going to see massive changes, or really hardly any changes overnight, because frankly these are the types of things that have to go through layers of approval. And even once approval is reached, it could take time for any major changes to take effect. So I do think that this is something to keep an eye on, but not something to necessarily be overly concerned about. So when we think about impacts to our physical media going forward, could it have an impact? Yes, it could have an impact. If Netflix were to buy these assets, it could have a negative impact on physical media in the future. Same thing with Paramount. It could create a situation where you have fewer people in the industry creating content. It could have an impact on theatrical distribution. So we could see a shakeup down the road. But in terms of the immediate future, I think it is pretty much steady as she goes. But we'll just have to keep an eye on this. I would say though that if you have Warner titles that you are looking at, that you are targeting, that you're interested in, that are out there on Blu-ray or 4K, and you've been waiting and figuring out when's a good time to go ahead and pick up those titles you're interested in, I would say that that time is now. Now would be the time to go ahead and probably pick up those titles, because there is a possibility that it might be harder to get those titles in the future. So that's something to just sort of keep in mind. So that is my spiel on that. And I know that you'll see a lot of different videos from a lot of different folks out there sharing their opinions and their feelings, and as well as hearing about this in the news. So with all of that, with my late start, which I apologize for, and talking about some other topics that are sort of near to our thoughts, let's go and let's share my screen and let's get into these Criterion titles, shall we? Because I want to hear what y'all think about these titles. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get into it here. All right, so this is March titles announced. Browse the latest slate of films coming to the Criterion Collection on 4K, Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD. Also, a public service announcement that there is a holiday sale on the Criterion site, 30% off through December 22nd, including pre-orders. So that is going on as we speak. You see the wonderful snowfall and the deer there. Look at that deer. That deer probably took advantage of some of the titles in this sale. So I think you have the opportunity to as well. But let's go ahead and click shop now. Let's get into these titles. So here's a quick rundown from what I have gathered. We've got 6 titles that are coming in the month of March. We've got a number of countries that are represented. We have, I believe, at least France, the United States, Japan, I believe. So great stuff. And I believe we may have one new filmmaker in the collection. This director for The Blade, I'll have to double check that, but I believe this may be the one new director in the collection. But as we go through the titles, we will get a better flavor of what's entailed here. Now, of course, Killers of the Flower Moon was announced. We've got, a couple of got an Asian title, couple of French titles. So definitely exciting stuff, as well as Louis Buñuel, another title from him. Of course, I have recently been exposed to the work of Louis Buñuel with his work Elle, which I reviewed recently on this channel. Excellent title. Fantastic title that I highly recommend. But let's just do a quick little rundown of what is coming out here. Now, Pee-wee's Adventure is coming out tomorrow on 4K Ultra HD. So this is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I do plan to do a review on this channel of this title, which will be coming out probably this Friday. Then you have David Byrne's American Utopia, which is coming out on 4K Ultra HD as well tomorrow. And that will wrap up the Criterion Collection slate for 2025. So it's been a pretty epic year for Criterion. I will be putting out my top 10 of the year for Criterion, and it has been an absolutely wonderful year. Criterion continues to do their thing, and so I am just very excited to share my top 10 favorites of the year for Criterion. Will Pee-wee's Big Adventure be in that top 10? We shall see. We shall see. I'm looking forward to sharing thoughts on that title on the channel. Dead Man and Yi Yi are getting 4K upgrades to begin the new year. I will be picking up Yi Yi on 4K and doing a review of that title. I've never picked up this title from Edward Yang, so looking forward to checking it out on 4K for the first time. Then you have a new Martin Scorsese World Cinema project coming out in January, number 5. Captain Blood coming out in 4K, Caught by the Tides, which I believe is a Criterion premieres edition. And then you have John Huston's The Dead, House Party, which was originally coming out in November, now coming out in January. So that's going to, that along with Birth by Nicole Kidman and Kiss of the Spider Woman will wrap up the January slate. So my plans right now are to do reviews of Yi Yi as well as Birth. I'll be picking those up and doing reviews of those titles to start the year. And then, of course, you have Kiss of the Spider Woman to wrap up January. Going into February, you have 3:10 to Yuma getting a 4K upgrade. You have A Woman Under the Influence. I'm going to click this again because I want to just see it. Yes, it is still a Blu-ray release. So this is a standalone Blu-ray release of this Spine 253. It is part of the John Cassavetes set of, I think, 4 or 5 films, but now it's getting a separate release on Blu-ray, so that's coming out. We're getting a 4K upgrade of Playtime, which is part of the Jacques Tati set, but now getting a separate edition on 4K Ultra HD. This is Spine 112 in the Criterion Collection. Is getting a 4K release in the month of February, so that is super duper cool. We have another Criterion Premieres release of Cloud. Get Lubitsch, another edition for the recently revived Eclipse series, and then Network and The Man Who Wasn't There coming out in 4K Ultra HD to round out February, which now brings us to, and I plan to do reviews of both of these titles in this channel, by the way, Network and The Man Who Wasn't There. And then that brings us to this title here, which is Viridiana, a film by Louis Buñuel. And it says here, banned in Spain and denounced by the Vatican upon its premiere, Louis Buñuel's irreverent vision of life as a beggar's banquet is regarded by many as his masterpiece. In it, novice nun Viridiana, Sylvia Pinal, does her utmost to maintain her Catholic principles, but her lecherous uncle, Fernando Rey, and a motley assemblage of paupers force her to confront the limits of her idealism. Winner of the Palme d'Or at the 1961 Cannes Film Festival, Viridiana is as audacious today as ever. So, very interesting. This is a film from 1961, Spain and Mexico. So we have Spain and Mexico in the mix here, as well as France, the United States, and Japan. So that's cool. In this month's announcements, 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD options. So I like to note that this is coming out with a DVD option. For those of you who prefer the DVD format, you're being served here. This is coming out March the 10th, 2026. It is from Louis Buñuel, who of course is no stranger to the collection. You see here that he has Belle de Jour, this Diary of a Chambermaid. You have this set here, which is a set I do not have. I have not seen these other films. The only Buñuel film I've seen is this one here, Elle, which I did a review on this channel, this 4K. Excellent edition. But having seen this, I'm definitely inspired to see more titles from this director. And so I will definitely be picking up Viridiana on 4K Ultra HD. Now you're getting a new 4K digital restoration. You get interviews with actor Sylvia Pinal and film scholar Richard Porton, and you get an excerpt from a 1964 episode of Cineastas de Notre Temps on director Louis Buñuel's early career. So fascinating stuff. Not a lot of supplements here. So this is one that, to be honest with you, I would probably wait. I will probably be waiting for this for a 50% off sale, just to get the most value for the buck, if you would. And I'm not in a hurry to get it, but this is definitely one that I could see easily being on my July Barnes & Noble sale list. So this is Viridiana. This is an upgrade of existing spine number 332 in the Criterion Collection, which I presume was probably on DVD. And this is now coming out on 4K Ultra HD. So great to know that. March the 10th. So then another title coming out, and this title comes out March the 17th, is a title from director Lynn Littman, which, excuse me. So this is a new director in the Criterion Collection. So this is Lynn Littman. And it says here, taking a hauntingly intimate approach to an often sensationalized subject, a singular testament depicts one family's daily life in the wake of nuclear devastation. After an atomic attack near her small California town, Carol, played by Jane Alexander, must find the strength to care for her three children as the family contend with radiation sickness and the realization that their close-knit community will never be the same. I guess so. With a diaristic focus on the emotional toll of unimaginable events, director Lynn Littman puts forth a retchingly humane vision of what it means to go on living in a shattered world. Wow. Okay. This is a film from 1983, Spine 1303. It's a new 4K digital restoration. There's no sign of Dolby Vision, and I don't believe there's Dolby Vision on the first release as well. You get some documentaries. You get archival programs and audio recording of actor Jane Alexander reading the short story, The Last Testament, on which the film is based. This is coming out on Blu-ray. So this is the Blu-ray release for the month. It's a Blu-ray release coming out March the 17th with a very, plain looking cover there. So I'm actually curious. Hope y'all can still see my screen here. I'm going to go to IMDb and I'm going to just look this up real quickly because I'm just curious as to this title. I've never heard of it before, so I I just want to see. So this is it here. So this is Testament. They never had a chance to see their children grow up, to watch each other grow old, to fix up the house, to take the vacation, because it only took an instant to shatter their dreams. Okay, so this is interesting. So this is a Paramount Pictures title. The life of a suburban American family is scarred after a nuclear attack. Let's see who this director is. Lynn Littman. She was she was born in 1941 in New York City. She is a director and producer known for Testament, Number Our Days, and In Her Own Time. She was previously married to Taylor Hackford. Okay, so that's just a little bit more on the filmmaker and a little bit more on this film. This is new to me, so this will be a new discovery for me, and this will be a title that I will probably pick up in the July sale. So if you've seen this, I definitely want to get your thoughts on this title. Let's cover one more, then we'll pop out, see what comments you have, and then we'll cover the last ones and then put a nice big red bow on this present box and we'll put it under our Christmas trees. So this next title here is Classe tous Risqué. Someone put in the comments that this is an excellent title. So this is from Claude Soutet, who is currently in the collection. This is an upgrade of Spine 434. So this is an upgrade of what I believe is a DVD edition in the Criterion collection, now getting a 4K release, 4K Blu-ray combo release, March 17th. Also available on Blu-ray and also DVD available as well. So that is good to know that this is also DVD available. New 4K digital restoration. Very important to note that this will get a Dolby Vision HDR presentation. This is a French and Italian film from 1960 at 108 minutes since it's in black and white. Getting a few features here, including an archival interview. And so that's good to know. And this is a little bit here of the title. That actor there looks very familiar. I believe this is the actor from Breathless, I want to say. Let me, yeah, here he is. Eric Stark, Jean-Paul Belmondo, fresh off his star turn in Breathless. So yeah, so this came out in 1960. So that's the same year that Jean-Luc Godard's Breathless came out. So yeah, I knew he looked familiar. So yes, he basically, I guess, shot these films at the same time, and one for Jean-Luc Godard and one for Claude Soutet in France. So yeah. And this is about, after hiding out in Milan for nearly a decade, fugitive gangland chief Abel Davos, Lino Ventura, sneaks back to Paris with his children despite a death sentence hanging over his head. Accompanied by appointed guardian Eric Stark, Jean-Paul Belmondo, and beset by backstabbing former friends, Abel begins a throat-grabbing, soul-searching journey through the post-war Parisian underworld. A character study of a career criminal at the end of his rope, this rugged noir from Claude Sautet is a highlight of 1960s French cinema. So this looks very fascinating. I'm looking forward to checking it out. It's going to be on 4K Ultra HD. It's a black and white film, Dolby Vision. I'm hoping that with this new 4K restoration, it looks like, and this actor looks familiar to me as well. I want to see what has he been in. I'll have to look him up, but yeah, this definitely looks like one that I will want to pick up as well. Again, I will probably pick this one up in the July sale, but we shall see. But yeah, that is Clause. That is Classe tous Risques. So yeah. So that's a lot to sort of absorb there with those first three titles. There's three more to go, but I do want to just come out here and see what y'all are thinking, what you're feeling. Just want to see. I'm not going to go through all the comments here, but I will just just pick a few here. Yeah. So again, I just put this up a few minutes ago, but yes, it's an awesome film. I'm looking forward to checking it out on 4K for sure. Um, so Killers of the Flower Moon is DiCaprio's first entry to the collection. That's a good question. I I think so. I think so. Let me know in the comments if y'all know of any other films starring Leonardo DiCaprio that's in the collection. I think this will be the first. And I'm interested in Black and White Nightmare Alley. Yeah, I've seen just the first little bit of it, but I'm looking forward to finishing it. I did see the color version, and it is very it's a crazy film. It's similar to the original 1940s version starring Tyrone Power, but it's an updated version. Yeah, I'm not really sure which one is better, but they're both really, really good films. Um, I acknowledge Scorsese's genius, but I just don't get a lot of heart from his films. Technical brilliance and mood, sure, but I can't think of any of his films that actually moved me. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's fair to say. Um, every filmmaker is different, and every filmmaker makes you feel a different, kind of feeling, and I can see where someone might feel that way about Scorsese's films. Yeah, I like the original Nightmare Alley a lot. Don't like Del Toro's one that much. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Do you think there should be more Criterion sci-fi titles, and if so, which ones might you suggest? Let's see. How about Star Trek for The Voyage Home? No. Um, that's a good question. I can't think of any off the top of my head that I would want to be in Criterion, but I do think that sci-fi space is something that they could explore more of potentially, but we shall see. I can't believe Killers of the Flower Moon is getting a physical release. It seemed impossible due to streaming, but they're actually doing it. Yeah, yeah. I'm excited about Criterion should get Warner. Oh yeah. Let's see. I've wanted to see Silver Lake. Let's see. A lot of great titles, really nice selection, actually. Wow. Okay. And you're also planning to buy Pee Wee later this week. That's cool. That's totally cool. Now, Yee. I just saw Yee on a 4K scan at my local theater. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, awesome. And I also saw something about, interestingly enough, I saw something about The Shining is in theaters now on IMAX, and this is the film from Stanley Kubrick, starring Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, the all-time classic film from Kubrick. And I am hoping to get a chance to go see it on the big screen. I've never seen it on the big screen, and I would love to see that title on the big screen, but we shall see. I've heard nothing but good things about it. So let's see here. We've got Birth Ye, A Woman Under the Influence, Playtime, The Man Who Wasn't There. Wow, Criterion are really cooking here. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Let's see here. I'm going to skip through a lot of these here. Don't have time to go through all of them, but thank you for joining and dropping your comments. Viridiana looks good. Going to check it out on the Criterion channel first. Yeah. Yeah, and that's a good tip. That is a good tip. That may be one to check out on the channel first. Let's see. I'm going to check out Testament. Okay. Saw Testament when it was on the local PBS station many years ago. It's very sad, but excellent and powerful. Okay. Well, I mean, given the subject matter, nuclear destruction, that is not, I'm sure it's not, a feel good film. So, but it's good to know that it's good. That is good to know. I need to revisit Classe Tous Risques. Okay. Very, very good. I believe Lino Ventura was in a few Jean-Pierre Melville films like Army of Shadows. That's right. That's where I remember. I remember that face, and yes, that's where I remember him from. Thank you. I've heard of Testament but never seen it. I think it was a theatrical answer to The Day After back in the thick of the Cold War nuclear scares. Yeah, I do remember The Day After, and that was a period where you had films like that coming out. Um, so that is yeah, that's a good connecting point. Really thought the Sofia Coppola box set was announcing today. Please, Criterion, please. Yeah, maybe at some point we shall see. I know Lost in Translation is a title that a lot of people want to see announced by Criterion on 4K at some point of Sofia Coppola's films. We shall see. Close Encounters of the Third Kind would be a good sci-fi title for Criterion. Yeah, interestingly enough, I just saw Close Encounters. probably earlier this year. I picked up the 4K. If it did come to the collection, I probably wouldn't. I mean, I already have it on 4K now, but that would be a pretty interesting film, and it could be, quite honestly, a good because there's no Spielberg in the collection right now, so that would be a pretty cool one to add to the collection, I think, from Mr. Spielberg. All right, let's dive back into these remaining titles, and we'll put a big red Christmas bow on this stream. So, all right, we covered Viridiana, Testament, and Classe to Risques. Three more to go. There's been a lot of talk about this Scorsese title, Killer to the Flower Moon. Now, Martin Scorsese is a big contributor to classic cinema in many different ways. I mean, of course, he's a great filmmaker, has produced and directed some amazing films in his history, but he's also has a heavy involvement in film restoration. And many of the titles that are in the collection are titles that his film foundation have restored. So you see Martin Scorsese here. He has a number of titles in the collection, all of which I can recommend, including After Hours, The Age of Innocence, The Irishman. I have not seen Last Temptation of Christ. I have not watched my copy of Rolling Thunder, but Raging Bull, Mean Streets, and The Last Waltz are all recommended. Just an amazing filmmaker. And now this is a title I have not seen before. It is, I believe, his most recent film is from 2023. It is Killers of the Flower Moon. It is 206 minutes. It's in color, and it occupies new spine number 1302. It's going to get a 4K release, Blu-ray, and DVD. So it will have a DVD option. So that's good to know. It's coming out March the 24th. This is a title that is going to be a new 4K digital master. It's going to get the Dolby Vision treatment. So that is good to know. You get a new documentary here featuring Scorsese, DiCaprio, Lily Gladstone, who I believe was nominated for an Oscar, I think, for her performance, I think. You have editors Thelma Schoonmaker and other members of the cast and crew. Thelma Schoonmaker's longtime partner of Martin Scorsese, legendary editor of nearly all of his films. So that is really cool. So you get a few features on here. It's not an incredibly stacked edition, but it looks like a pretty nice set of features. And this is a film that is an epic elegy of greed, betrayal, and murder. Martin Scorsese's masterly adaptation of David Grann's true crime bestseller unfolds in 1920s Oklahoma. So this is a period piece where the discovery of oil brings extraordinary wealth to the Osage people. Into their world comes ne'er-do-well Army veteran Ernest Burkhart, Leonardo DiCaprio, who joins his duplicitous uncle, Robert De Niro, in a horrifying scheme to rob the Osage of their money and land. So Leonardo and De Niro are playing bad guys here. Okay. Lily Gladstone charges the film with her transcendent performance as Burkhart's Osage wife, Molly Kyle. So I know that's a bit of conflict in there. I mean, you have him and De Niro trying to screw these people, but yet he's married to a woman who is part of this group of people. So that's part of the dynamic of this film. And I heard that her performance, Lily Gladstone, is very powerful, was nominated. And of course, Leonardo's going to bring it as well as De Niro. So this is a title that I'm definitely looking forward to checking out. This is Killers of the Flower Moon, coming to Criterion 4K Ultra HD, a Martin Scorsese film, Spine 1302. I just have a feeling that the visuals are going to be pretty awesome, in addition to this being a very well-told story, an epic story, a period piece, 206 minutes, coming in at nearly 3.5 hours. This is Jesse Plemons, I believe, right? Who's in Power of the Dog, I believe, and some other films. So yeah, looks like a really, really good cast. I can tell that the cinematography looks really amazing. So I have not seen this film, but this is one that I'm definitely looking forward to checking out when it comes out in March. And this is actually a title that I will probably be picking up day one and doing a review on this channel towards the end of March. So Killers of the Flower Moon, coming out March the 24th in Criterion Collection on 4K Ultra HD. All right, next title. This is from Claude Lelouch, And this is a filmmaker who's already in the collection, but he's in the collection as part of this edition here called Visions of Eight. So if you were to click Visions of Eight, one of the eight features, and this Visions of Eight is about the Olympics in Munich in 1972. And so you had eight filmmakers who were called in to cover certain parts of the Olympics and to put their own spin on how they wanted to cover it. And so you had filmmakers like Claude Lelouch, who covered the losers here. So you had different aspects where they would cover weightlifting or track and field or what have you. And this is the losers, which I'm trying to remember which event that was. But this is Claude Lelouch here. This was his contribution to Visions of Eight, and you had other filmmakers as well. But this is a standalone release of his, starring Anouk Aimée and Jean-Louis Trintignant, called A Man and a Woman. This is a film from 1966 at 103 minutes, and it is a new spine number 1304. So this is Claude Lelouch's Academy Award-winning international sensation, is a paragon of swooning cinematic romanticism and 1960s chic against the rain-swept backdrop of the Normandy coast. Two widowed single parents, race car driver Jean-Louis and film script supervisor Anne Anouk Aimée, find themselves falling for each other, but are they ready to move on from the shadows of their former lovers? Reveling in its stars' chemistry and unfolding as a sublime swirl of shifting film stocks, whirling camera work, and time and space collapsing editing, all set to Francis Lay's unforgettable score, A Man and a Woman endures as one of the most intoxicating love stories ever told. So interesting. So new 2K digital restoration, new interview with Lelouch, making of documentary shot on location, archival footage of Lelouch at the 1966 Cannes Film Festival. This is a Blu-ray release. It's coming out March the 31st, so at the end of the month. And this is fascinating. Fascinating love story. It looks like it was shot in very inventive ways, different uses of film stocks, as you can see here. So this appears to be a technical marvel here, and telling a very fascinating story about love and romance. So I know very little about this film, only what I've just read to you here. And this is a title that I do look forward to checking out. This will likely be a July sale pickup for me, but this is one I'm definitely interested in. It's coming out of France. It's in color and black and white. Again, different film stocks are involved here, different shooting techniques. So definitely looking forward to checking this title out. It's coming out again March the 31st, and only on Blu-ray. So no 4K, no DVD option available. It'll be spine number 1304 in the collection. So yeah, let us know in the comments if you've heard of this title, and if so, what you think about A Man and a Woman. All right, that brings us to the last title for the month of March, basically rounding out the first quarter of the year for Criterion, which I think has been pretty strong, quite honestly, for 2026. I think they're off to a very strong year for next year. And this is a title from Hong Kong, from China, excuse me, not Japan, but from China or Hong Kong. And it's going to be coming in at Spine 1305. And this is a director who I believe is, oh, excuse me, I thought he was new to the collection. He's not. He also brought us Once Upon a Time in China, those 5 films. I do not have those films in my collection. But if you've saw those films, or if you've seen this film, The Blade, let us know in the comments section what you think about those films. So this is The Blade, and it says, among the boldest accomplishments of Hong Kong cinema's golden age, this uniquely visceral martial arts movie puts a gritty new spin on the story of the one-armed swordsman. One-armed swordsman. Okay. An iconic figure from the moment he was introduced by the Shaw Brothers studio in 1967. Composed in a whirlwind of immersive close-ups and fractured editing, The Blade follows the young swordmaker Ding Ong, Vincent Zhao, who, after losing an arm in an ambush, transforms himself into a furious avenger. With this intentionally disorienting stylization and starkly brutal tone, The Blade was a rare commercial disappointment for Sui Hark, but it has since been reclaimed as one of the director's most radical visions, a tour de force of action expressionism and a scathing reappraisal of the wuxia genre's code of masculinity that achieves a feverish intensity. Okay. I like the cover. I mean, this cover is pretty rad. I really dig this cover. This is coming out on 4K Ultra HD as well as Blu-ray, March the 31st. No DVD option currently. This is a new 4K digital restoration. This also will be getting the Dolby Vision treatment, so that's good to know. Getting a new audio commentary, documentary, new video essays here, which is a new video essay. Um, Q&A from a film festival, so that's good to know. You get an alternate English dub track, so that's I think that's a good option. Whether or not you like English dub tracks, I think the option is a good option to have. Um, for people who may not want to read subtitles or maybe multitasking and want to actually be able to understand what is being said without having to stare at the screen and stare at subtitles. So that's a fair compromise for certain situations. So that's cool. But yeah, this is Blade, one armed swordsman. So that's cool. Yeah, this is coming out on March the 31st, 2026. So as I come back out here, this is the rundown. I think this is a very nice slate for the month of March. I will definitely be planning to pick up Viridiana and Testament and Classe Tous Risques, as well as A Man and a Woman in the July sale. So those will be definite pickups probably in the July sale. And I'll be picking up Killers of the Flower Moon when it comes out day one and doing a review on this channel. But definitely excited about this slate. I'll have to read more on The Blade to see if that's a title that I want to pick up. But I think overall, this is a fairly strong slate that Criterion is putting out for the month of March, but definitely want to hear what you all think out there. Let's see here. And then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Let's see. The cover for the Killers of Flower Moon is definitely one of the most chilling covers I've seen from Criterion. Yeah, I need to look at it and understand what the symbolism is representing there. I think Criterion has done plenty of releases for Errol Morris' filmography. Still need to check those out. Cool, 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 cool. I forgot Killers of the Flower Moon is about the creation of the FBI as well as the Osage. I did not know that. I did not know that. Um, Someone's excited about A Man and a Woman. That's good. And then Visions of Eight is so great. It is. It is fantastic. It's maddening that they didn't have all the supplemental material from the standalone release on the big box set. Yeah, that's fair. Same with Tokyo Olympiad. Let's see, someone is saying they're definitely going to be checking out The Blade. That is great. Um, Someone's picking up Killers of the Flower Moon and The Blade for sure. Maybe Viria Diana. Good. Have not seen the original One-Armed Swordsman. Okay. Um, let's see. What do we have here? Shuei Imamura's Vengeance is Mine. Oh, yes. That is an excellent title. Now, if that title gets a 4K release, I will probably upgrade. That is a fantastic release. I have not seen it in years, but it is really good. Vengeance is Mine. So good. Great title. Killers of the Flower Moon on Criterion 4K, please. Yes, it is coming. It is coming. See, good month for Criterion for sure. I think so as well. I would agree. Yeah, I would definitely agree. Never heard of the Blade, but it looks cool. Yeah, the cover is definitely cool for the Blade. But yeah, I think overall, very strong slate for Criterion for the month, and definitely looking forward to more. So we see here we need more Heisei releases. Yeah, yeah, I'm not familiar with that filmmaker, but the more the more the merrier. That just brings more filmmakers to discover, and I'm discovering new ones every day, including Buñuel, having recently seen Elle, that release from Criterion, just getting exposed to his filmography and how he, excuse me. how he influenced the director of this film here, Arturo Ripstein, Deep Crimson. So seeing how those two filmmakers are related, this is another excellent addition that I can highly recommend. Deep Crimson in the collection, so definitely consider picking that one up. Um, let's see, what are we saying here? Digging into your live vids. Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. Glad you're enjoying that. Godzilla Heisei era. Oh, okay. Do you like Atlantic City? I've never been to Atlantic City. Never been there before, but I've been to Vegas. Cool town. Let's see. Best commentary of the year. Ooh, I'll have to think about that. There are so many good ones. I will have to think about that one. I will have to think about that one, the movie. But yeah, great stuff coming out from Criterion in the month of March. Now, what is coming up on this channel here? Of course, later in this week, we're going to be doing a review of Pee-wee's Big Adventure from 1985, coming out on Criterion 4K. So that review is coming out later this week. And this weekend, we'll plan to do a little bit of Criterion holiday themed content. So that is coming out this coming weekend, but definitely hope you will check out the review of Pee-wee's Big Adventure from 1985, the 4K review coming out toward the end of the week. Now, let's see, we got a few more titles here. Don't think we'd ever get Killers of the Flower Moon. Initially, Apple had issues of releasing it in the States. Epic, one of Scorsese's 3 to 4 best, and I don't say that lightly. Okay, definitely want to check that out. Have I done have you done a wish list video for 2026? I have not. I have not, but I need to. I need to. Because because there are some titles that I definitely would love to see come next year. So, um, titles like, for example, Sidney Lumet's Dog Day Afternoon, which this is the 50th year anniversary this year, but it has not gotten a 4K release. So next year will be a good time to see that come out. But we shall see. See, Doctor says, just want to say I love your content. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and thank you for watching. See here. We have here, just found your channel this morning. Love the content and am now a subscriber. Not a fan of the dogs, but you're my favorite Georgia Bulldogs fan. Well, I understand. I understand. But yeah, I definitely got to celebrate my dogs winning the SEC championship, and certainly hopeful that they will bring home the national title. We shall see. Criterion needs to do Hellboy 1 and 2. Hey, you never know. You never know, right? I believe those are both Guillermo del Toro, right? And then on the subject, Warner Brothers films, I'd highly recommend White Heat, starring James Cagney, one of the best gangster films. Cool. Well, thank you for that recommendation. And again, I'm definitely high on the month of March. I think it's a great release month. I will go ahead and pull it up again to just share this one more time so we can just do a quick little rundown. But, definitely interested in Viridiana. Um, we'll be looking to get that in the July sale, as well as Testament, Class 2's Risques. This one here, I might pick up day one, along with picking up Killers of the Flower Moon. I may pick this one up as well and do a review in March, but we shall see. But I definitely see myself getting these first five, and then the Blade is one that we shall see if I will get that. But then going back to February, you had The Man Who Wasn't There in Network, definite pickups on the 4K format. Looking forward to sharing thoughts on those titles, as well as the 4K of Playtime, as well as Birth. But then Kiss of the Spider Woman might be a flash sale pickup. House Party is one that I may wait for July on. We shall see. We shall see. But The Dead is one I'm also looking forward to picking up. And then, of course, Yee Yee for sure is a planned pickup. But yeah, a lot of great stuff to start the year for Criterion. You see Billy Bob Thornton here from The Man Who Wasn't There, the Coen Brothers title. But a lot of great stuff coming the first quarter of the year from the Criterion collection. So definitely looking forward to those titles. And definitely look forward to hearing your comments in the comments section if you're catching this on a replay. And definitely looking forward to great stuff. Hope you all have a fantastic week ahead. Hope you have a great start to your week. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Have a great Monday and a great week ahead. God bless. Peace.